we'll keep working them and keep getting more in the bucket, because the more of those deals that you're working, right, and you're shoving them in the bucket, we call it packing the tube, right? And when you're packing the tube, what happens is, I want you to think about your day as this tube, right? And I'm not exactly an artist, okay? But what do you want to put in this side of the tube, right? The Capital One pre-approvals, right? Service customers, ups on the lot, right? Who do you know list, right? What else? Prospects that you find out at the gas station or restaurant, right? Referrals, okay? Social media, all kinds of stuff, right? And if you keep putting all of those things in this side of the tube, what happens on this side of the tube?
They start.
One of them come out.
Yeah, deals start falling out, right? And what happens a lot of times is when you get busy and you start catching these deals that fall out at the bottom, you forget to pack the tube, right? So then you run into a dry spell. You go into 3, 4, 5 days no sale, right? Because you were catching all those deals and you forgot to continue packing the tube, right? So if you pack that tube constantly, not all of it, not everybody that you put in there is going to come out as a car deal right now, right? Some of those people are going to get stuck in the tube, but if you continue to follow up and you continue to work with them, eventually they'll come out the other side, right? And some people might not buy right now today, but they're going to buy. I can assure you, everybody that you put in there is going to buy a car, right? Everybody that shows up on this lot can and will buy a car. Now, does it mean they're going to buy the Nissan Titan or a diesel truck or whatever? No. Some of those people, they need to buy, something less expensive for now, right? Maybe we have something that's a CAC deal that we can put them in, right? Maybe we can put them in one of those as-is cars, or, you know what I mean? One of the credit builder cars. But they're a car deal on the right car, right? Does that make sense? Every single person is a deal. We just got to figure out how to make it a deal. So the biggest difference between us and everybody else is we are solutions based, okay? The way to make money and the way to win is to have solutions. People present you with a problem, right? Hey, I've got bad credit. Okay, no problem. We can help with that. We have banks that do bad credit loans to help people get reestablished, right? Okay, I have $2,500 a month in income. Hey, no problem. You're not going to qualify to buy that brand new Explorer, right? However, we can probably get you qualified on this Jeep Wrangler, right? Does that make sense? That Jeep Wrangler is a lot less money and the payment's a lot more affordable. You know what I mean? Yesterday we had an educational opportunity. Fur took it up on the lot. They were in a car, right? In the Suburban. He gets them out of the car and then he's going to go take them out on the lot and go show them a car. What happened, Fur?
I was near in step 2. I was having, I guess she anything.
I know, but what happened?
She was interested in the Explorer.
Yeah.
And she also wants the bar.
Step rails.
Step rails on
Yeah.
it. That was a most be.
But what happened? I walked over there, right? And what did I say to her?
Maybe we can make a deal with it.
Yeah. And I said, hey, what step are you on? And then I said, go inside and do a guess sheet.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She said, yeah. She said that she knows I was new.
Yeah. She said, I knew that he was new, right? But I said, go inside and do a guess sheet. And he's like, okay. She's like, yeah, that sounds great, right? But he was getting keys and he was going to go walk out on the lot and go show her car. No guess sheet. Why? Does anyone have an idea why he didn't want to do a guess sheet?
Shortcut.
Why?
She mentioned that that's the car she wants.
Right. So she said, hey, I'd like to look at an Expedition, right? And so he's like, well, great, let me go show you one. But that's not the process, is it? So I stopped, hold on. Let's go ahead and follow the process, right? What step are you on? Step 1, meet and greet, right? He didn't even do a meet and greet. But he said hello, introduced himself, but he didn't do a meet and greet. And then he wasn't going to do a guest sheet. He was just going to go show her a car, right? He was going to go from step 1, and not a good step 1, but just a, hi, my name's Luis. How can I help you? I'm here to look at an expedition. Great, let me go get the keys for one, right? So you're from step 1 to step 4. Anyway, we did the meet and greet, right? And instead of walking him into a guest sheet, he was going to go out and show him a car, right? But if we follow the process, we come and go, hey, what are you looking for? Right? Car, truck, or SUV? Well, I want an SUV, right? Okay. Why is she trying to buy an SUV? Because her mom can't get in and out of that Suburban very well. She needs to be able to step up better, right? So he did a great job and showed her an Explorer instead of an Expedition because they're a little lower to the ground, right? And it still gives her good space, right? But instead of coming in and doing the guest sheet, he was going to just walk on the lot. So make sure you're following the process, because he made the decision not to do the guest sheet and go out and show him a car because he thought the customer didn't want to come inside, right? And when you start thinking for your customer and you think they're not comfortable, that's not true. You're not comfortable, right? It's like when a customer says, hey, I'm going to go home and think about it, right? What are they really telling you?
Numbers don't make sense.
The numbers don't make sense, right? That's what they're telling you, right? It might come out and sound like, hey, I'm going to go home and think about it. That's because they don't know how to tell you otherwise, right? Remember, they don't buy cars every single day. They don't do this every day, right? They don't have someone talking to them about how to buy or sell or trade an automobile every morning at 8:30, right? They're not privy to this. So they're going to tell you things like, hey, I'm going to think about it, or hey, I've got a meeting to go to, because the numbers don't make sense, right?
Check with my wife.
I checked with my wife, right? So last night, Ben did a great job. Went and showed a Nissan Kicks. I wish he would have showed a 24 instead of a 25, but he showed a 25, right? Got all 3 trial closes, right? Do you like the way the car's equipped? Yep. Do you like the way the car drives? Yep. And if the numbers make sense, is this a car you'd like to take home? Yep. Right? So he gets back, he presents numbers, and what did she say? I'm just going to think about it, right? I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait a few weeks or a few months, right? But is that really what she meant? No. What she meant to say was, hey, that payment's more than what I was hoping for, right? But what she said, right, the words that she used, right, it's like a decoder. You need a decoder ring, right? The words she used were, hey, I'm going to think about it. I appreciate your time. Can I get a copy of that? No, she just, like, man, it's too much money. She's not even price shopping. She's not shopping. She liked the car. She liked the price, right? Or she liked the car. She liked the way it drove, right? And if the numbers made sense, this is the car I would like to take home. So Ben said, hey, remember what I meant? Or when we came here, you said, if all the numbers made sense, is this the car you'd like to take home? And you said what?
Yes.
You said yes. Well, now you're saying something different. So what part of this doesn't make sense? The payment. The payment doesn't make sense. Okay, well, let's work on that a little bit. You guys see where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So make sure that you follow the process and make sure you're using your trial closes, because if you don't do that, how are you going to have the tools needed later to secure your deal, right? If I don't use a meet and greet when you show up and say, hey, I would like to give you prices, payments, also give me numbers with and without your trade-in so you can decide if you want to use it or not, right? And then when you're on the lot and they say, what's my trade worth? What are you going to say to them?
We haven't got that far yet, but let's go inside and sit down and find the vehicle you want first.
Sure, but what are you gonna say to them if you haven't used your meet and greet?
Oh, yeah, well, I understand if you use your meet and greet.
Yeah. If you use your meet and greet, you can say, remember when I met you, I told you I would give you prices, payments, I would give you numbers with or without your trade-in. We'll get to that. You're just a little bit ahead of me, right? First, let's pick out the vehicle that you like the most, and so I can give you all that information. Does that make sense? So, but if you don't use your meet and greet, how are you gonna do that? Hey Ben, we go grab that phone. It is ringing off the hook. If you walk out on the lot and a customer says, hey, what's the rebates on this car? What do you say to them?
This is kind of you like.
Sure, but what are you gonna say? You're gonna say, hey, remember where I met you?
Yeah.
I told you I'd give you prices, payments. We'll get to that. First, let's make sure this is the car that you like, right? And then I will give you all that information. Cross my heart, hope that I put a million needles in my eye, right? I pinky promise I will give you all the information,
That's right.
right? I pinky promise. But if you didn't use meet and greet, you're going to turn into a gopher, right? You're going to go for this price and go for that rebate and go for this rate and go for that trade value, right? You turn into a gopher, right? Gophers don't sell cars. Gophers run around in circles, right? Make sense? So follow the process. Use your meet and greet. Use your trial closes. Because if Ben had sat down last night and that lady said, hey man, that's all great. I appreciate it. Can I get a copy of that? I'm going to go home and think about it. What could he have said? Porky Pig would have showed up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. That's all, folks. Right? But because he used his trial closes and he said, hey, if all the numbers make sense, is this a car that you would like to take home? And she said, yes. He said, hey, remember when you said, right? If all the numbers made sense, this is a car you'd like to take home. What part of this doesn't make sense, right? Is it the down payment? Are you comfortable with $2,500 down? Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Are you comfortable with an $820 payment? No, I'm not real comfortable with that. Okay, well, let's work on that, right? Maybe I can save you a little money. Remember, this is this. And all of a sudden you get into negotiating, right? Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
But what if you haven't used your trial closes?
You don't know how to negotiate.
You don't have any,
Ammunition.
yeah, you got no ammunition. You got nothing to stand on, right? You got nowhere to go. Because if you said, hey, G and I said, pretty, don't you want it? And she said, yeah. And you came in and you presented her that number and she looked at you and goes, great, that looks great. I appreciate your time. Can I have a copy of that? I'm going to go home and think about it. What do you say? What's your rebuttal?
You don't have one.
You got nothing, right? You got nothing, zero. I mean, you could turn into a slimy salesman, right? And they got those all over the country, right? They're not limited to Arkansas or Tennessee. They're all over the country, right? And they start going, hey, what's it going to take to earn your business? How cheap do I got to get it, right? And then my favorite, right? And I like to mystery shop. I really enjoy it because I look for talent, right? And I try to learn things from people, right? The guy calls me and says, hey, I was calling you about your car's extended warranty, man. I smile, I get excited. I go, really? Yeah, I'm fresh out. I think I need one. And I get him to give me a price, right? And then once he gives me a price, I go, man, that's too much. I find out how does he overcome my objection, right? And I've learned a couple of objection handling skills from these guys, right? You start trying to negotiate with them, right? And they want to get your credit card number. And sometimes those people are actually pretty good. I've tried to hire a couple. But some of those guys are just douchey, right? They're like, well, your car's going to break. It's going to cost you $20,000 to fix it. And they try to use fear tactics, right? I go, I'm not scared. Right? You're not going to scare me into buying it, but give me a real objection handling tool, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll hang up on me and go, you're not trying to buy one. And I'm like, yeah, you're not even good at selling them, right? So anyway, you've constantly, you got to think about what your rebuttal is, right? You got to think about how are you going to handle this situation, right? Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And you can't do it. You can't handle that situation if you haven't done the right things, right? I was telling you my favorite thing that I get when I go mystery shopping is when a salesman will say, so you wouldn't buy this car if it was $100 a month, would you? I'm like, I guess not. Right? So for $100 a month, you wouldn't even buy this car, huh? And it's like they're trying to make me commit to not buying it before they let me talk to the manager, right? What do you think the benefit is to that?
Nothing.
No, and I think it's just,
All it's doing is alienating you.
it's dumb, right?
Right.
It's super dumb,
Just
right?
get himself a way out.
It's
Tell him,
emasculating.
man, the guy, he will do anything. So
Yeah.
now you go talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. He won't do nothing, right? He won't buy it for nothing. Nothing down, nothing a month. He won't do that. He wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take it if it was free, huh? And they go, well, if it was free, I'd take it. Okay, well, that's obviously not free. He'd take it if it was free, boss, but that's it, right? And there's guys like that in the car business right now, right? And those are the guys I just laugh. I would never keep them employed, but I certainly laugh because I think that's it's humorous, right? Like,
You're not getting to the root of what it's gonna take.
yeah, but you're having a ridiculous conversation, right? Like, come on. Imagine you're 40, 50, 60 years old, right? And you're talking to somebody and they're like, would you take it if it were free? Come on. Let's talk real, right? Let's have real conversation. That's just, you're almost mocking somebody, right? So those salespeople, how many cars do you think they sell, and what do you think their repeat business is like?
They bounce from dealership to dealership.
Yeah, all the time, right? I don't want to have those conversations with people, and I don't want you to, right? I don't want you to ever say, what's it going to take to earn your business? No, let's see if we can put something together that makes sense for the both of us, right? I want you to have a fair deal, right? I want to take care of you, right? But it's not just about buying a car, is it? I'm not gonna win by selling people one car, and neither are you, right? Your deal the other day, the people with the mask on, right? That deal, was it really a tough close? I think so.
I think so.
It took, and it really wasn't that tough. It just took a different skill, right, or a different tactic, because it was less. When I went in there to close that deal, how much of the numbers did I really talk about?
Not much.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about them, but
Not much.
and you didn't discount it that much either.
No.
$200-300.
Right.
They just wanted to take and take till couldn't take no more.
Yeah. But I talked about us, right? I talked about our service. I talked about buying local, right? I talked about being your hometown dealership, right? I talked about when you have service or you have something that you need, right? That we'll be here for you, right? I talked about what separates us from everybody else. We're family owned and operated, right? We're locally owned and operated, right? We have people that participate in the community, right? We are doing things differently than everybody else. I'm not dumping a bunch of money into Google to drive traffic to say, hey, we're the cheapest guy on the block, right? And a lot of dealers do that, right? I'm not. I'm taking care of people so that we have a sustainable business that people will come back and buy from us over and over and over, right? How many people appreciate being able to meet the owner when they're here? How many people are excited about getting their picture taken and putting it on Facebook, right? How many people enjoy scrolling our Facebook and looking and going, man, look at all these people when they buy a car, how happy do they look? Have you ever scrolled our Facebook page? Right?
I know that guy.
We look like a good time, right? I was scrolling it at about 4 o'clock this morning, right? And as I'm scrolling it, I was like, man, I'm gonna go here. And I was like, wait, I am going there, right? I want to go there. One of my favorite pictures is the kid and you sold a blue Sentra, and that little kid jumped up right like that. It was like the perfect snapshot. I got her the perfect time, right? And she was standing there like this, going, yeah, right. One of my favorite pictures. My other favorites are when we put people on our shoulders, right? We have people that laid down and we were holding them, right? So you got 3 or 4 salespeople like this, and then the customer laying down, right? Holding them up. That's cool. That's a good time, right? Got a picture of Isaiah laying on the ground, pointing up at people, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'll be doing the French girl on one of them.
Yeah. So those pictures, when people scroll, that's all they get to see. That's how they get introduced to us, right? So having a good time and having fun with your customer is what they expect when they get here, right? I don't want to change that. You know what I mean? Don't let it get awkward. Remember, this is your house, right? I'm going to go back full circle. Yesterday, the whole reason you didn't go to step 2 was because you were not comfortable and you thought the customer wasn't comfortable, right? That's you overthinking in your head. You have to not overthink. You have to just follow the process. It's called blind faith. Do you guys all know what blind faith is?
Absolutely.
It's called blind faith. You got to have faith and trust that if you follow these steps in order, right, that at the end you're going to end up with a car deal, right? If I told you that a chicken dips snuff, you got 2 choices. You can either tell me that he doesn't have any lips, it's not possible, right? Or you can look under his wing for the can, right? Blind faith is when you look under his wing for the can, right? You just believe me that it works. So you need to have blind faith. That blind faith is, you got to know this process. You got to know these 12 steps inside and out, and you got to follow them one at a time. And if you're on step 1, your goal is to get to step 2, right? Once you complete step 2, your goal is to do step 3. And after you complete step 3, you go to step 4, right? So the other day, Isaiah was on step 6 and he was doing a guess sheet. How many of you have done that? Raise your hand.
I done it on the phone yesterday.
Huh? So I told him, don't do that. Why?
Because you're not following the process.
Well, not only are you not following the process, but you're kinking the whole program, right? Because now, think about this. You went out and you showed him a car, right? You did a test drive, right? And then you come in, you do a guess sheet, and what do you ask at the bottom of the guess sheet, Bob?
What do you ask a lot of? Payment and down payment.
Right, but what's the question you ask?
Type vehicle they're looking for.
No, down there at the bottom, what do you ask?
Price-wise, budget-wise, what we need.
Right. Price-wise, budget-wise, where are you hoping to be? Right? So we've done all the walk around, we've done all the test drive. We say price-wise, budget-wise, where are you hoping to be? What if they tell you they want to be at $300 a month? Right? And then you're going to go get a pencil and it's going to be $700 a month. What's going to happen to your car deal?
They're gonna blow out.
You just blew it out. You ruined the entire credibility of everything we do. Right? You just made us look stupid.
And you educated the customer to go to another dealership and say, I need this amount of
Right.
to get to the payment I want.
So the last thing you want to ask somebody right before you give them a pencil is where they want their payments to be. Right? That all you're doing is you're going to convince them that either you're stupid or we're liars. Right? If you ask them before you show them a car on step 2, price-wise, budget-wise, where are you hoping to be? And they said $300 a month. And you show them a $300 a month car and they say, hey, I don't want to buy it. No problem. I can show you another car, but it's going to be a little bit more, right? Now when I go give a pencil for $700 a month, am I a liar?
Oh.
No. So remember, this process isn't about checking a box and saying, okay, I got this done. Okay, it's not jumble it up and do it however you want to. It's follow the process, right? Because doing the guest sheet any time other than after your meet and greet is dumb. You are going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt the reputation of the dealership, right? You're not going to help yourself make a car deal. And I don't need a guest sheet after you've already landed on a car. What do I need a guest sheet for?
To direct you the right way.
Right. The guest sheet is to help you put you on the right vehicle, right? The guest sheet is to help set it up so that you can go show them the car, right? so that you can go find something that's going to make sense for them.
You're looking for a trusted advisor.
Yeah. But after you've already done all those other steps, if you go to do the guest sheet, right, then what's the benefit?
There isn't one, and you've wasted your time and the customer's
Circulating the
time.
system.
Yeah. So don't do that.
Also back yourself in the corner.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden, when you come out, it's a conflict, right? And
Or you work for yourself, because you carve them up, now you gotta go carve them back down.
Yeah.
So you gotta do.
it's all bad. There's not one good thing that happens by doing a guest sheet after you've done all that. Nothing good.
People love to go up, but they don't want to come down.
Yeah.
No.
So I go back again to full circle, following the process, right? If I see you take it up and you don't come inside to do a guest sheet, I'm going to walk outside and I'm going to embarrass you, right? Because I'm going to say to your customer, hey, I've got a new guy here, Ben, and he hasn't followed the process. So step 2, you guys did step 1, right? A meet and greet. Did he give you a meet and greet? He did? Great. Now step 2 is fact finding, because I don't want to waste your time. Do you like wasting time, or do you want to save a bunch? And they're going to say, well, I want to save time. Great. Then let's go do a guest sheet. Follow me. And I'm going to bring them in, and you're going to do a guest sheet, right? We're not going to accept this running around chaos and not completing circles bullshit anymore. Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to do a guest sheet so that you can save time, right? You don't get stuck with a customer for 6 or 7 or 8 hours, right? I want you to follow this process, right? And it's not to hurt you or whatever, right? It's to help you, but I can't help you if you guys are so uncomfortable that you can't come inside and do a guest sheet. Have any of you ever seen me go outside and ask a customer to come and do a guest sheet? How many of them ever said no?
Almost not.
I've had none.
Right.
Nobody ever says no. But for some reason, y'all are uncomfortable to ask someone to come inside and do a guest sheet. I don't know why.
It's the wording. It's how you present it.
Use your meet and greet.
Right, but I'm saying
Yeah.
sometimes it's just, well, come on inside and get some information. And people
Yeah.
figure if I go inside, then I'm gonna get hounded.
Yeah.
Instead of, come on inside, let's get some information so we can put you on the right vehicle
Yeah.
for your
And
budget.
I didn't even tell them come inside and get information. I just say, great, follow me. Right? Let me get you registered. Right? Because we're gonna go out, we're gonna pick out a vehicle, and when you fall in love with it, I'm gonna let you drive it. And if we don't come back from the test drive, they know where to go to find me. What are they gonna say to that?
They're gonna chuckle.
They're gonna chuckle and they're gonna say, okay, great, I'll go do it. But if any of you have one reason that you can't do a guest sheet after a meet and greet, please raise your hand and tell me. One reason.
You simply didn't.
Because I've seen all of you do it. I want to know one reason why you cannot do it.
You simply didn't ask them.
Right?
There's no reason.
I'd like to know one reason why you don't. Right?
I made a critical error in my first sale.
It's all right.
And I knew why I didn't, because I knew who the customer was, but I still didn't excuse the process.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be known in a different light as a trusted advisor and not someone that's just a member of the family or someone that they know in passing.
So does that make sense? I want a guest sheet up to the desk before you take the customer out and show them cars. Right? Does everybody know how to do a guest sheet?
I'll learn today.
Yep.
That's right.
You are going to shadow, right? And you're gonna, after you shadow Isaiah today, then I'll have you shadow Ben, right? After you shadow Ben, then I'll have one of them shadow each of you, right? And help walk you through and make sure that you guys do the right process, right? The key to it all is making sure that we streamline, right? And we're not wasting a bunch of time. Because if you think about it, we've got, what, how many salespeople we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 salespeople. Okay, with 8 salespeople, and there's no reason in the world we can't sell 100 cars, right? None. The rule is every salesperson will average 10 cars, right? So with 8 salespeople, we should be at 80 cars. But I think with the talent and skill set that we have in this room, right, that we should be able to hit 100. Because there's no way in the world that you sell just 10 cars. You know way too many people. You've been here way too long. Same thing. Your skill set is above average. You've been selling cars since Jesus was in Sunday school, right? And you have so much hustle, there's no way that you don't sell 20 cars, right? And with you and your skill sets right now, there's no way you can't sell 10, right? What are you at right now? 3, okay? But listen, what month are we on? Your second month? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to get there, right? You sold 3 cars in what, 2 days? So what happened was you were packing that tube and you had car deals come out and you forgot to do this. Yeah. So now you're in a dry spot again. We got to get you packing the tube, right? I've seen you sell more than 10 several times. Here we are. Bob, you got 1 out, right? At the end of this month, we're gonna set you up with doing something a little different, right? You're gonna still sell cars, but I'm gonna have you do something different. I have an idea for you, right? Something that will require less running around on the lot and more of a focus selling, okay? But if you figure Ben, 20, Isaiah, 20, right? You got John,
Yes, sir.
15, right? That's 40, that's 70. So then 30 between the house deals, David, Chaz, Luis, and Griffin, 30 between, right, 3-4 people, that's 100 units, right? All you got to worry about is selling your next car, okay? That's it. How do you sell 30 cars in a month? One at a time. So don't worry about the 10 number, worry about the 1 number.